join me at a lake in the middle of Essex. Going to be doing some fishing, but what I'm mainly after is crayfish. I used to fish here years ago, and I know there's millions of crayfish in here. It's very windy today, so I apologise in advance. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I haven't got a crayfish trapping licence, but what we used to do, when we used to have our big carp landing nets out, where we used to throw trout pellets out and halibut pellets, they used to scatter, and some of them used to land in the landing net in the margins. And when the net was in there, after we'd netted a fish, when you lifted the net back out, there was crayfish in the net eating the trout pellets. So that's how I'm going to get round the fact that I've not got a crayfish trap. I'm just going to do it with a landing net. We'll see how that goes. So it's a bit of a break in the weather. It's atrocious today, actually. I've had to bust out the waterproofs. They said it would be cloudy today with the odd little bit of rain, but it's just been constant drivel. That's what I'm speaking. It's been constant drizzle all morning. It's been a pain in the neck to set up gear in this sort of weather, but look, this is what I'm doing. Let me show you. I've got some halibut pellets. There's me landing net set up in there. What used to happen years ago, because this particular lake is crammed full of American signal crayfish, they used to go into the net to eat the halibut pellets. And when you pull the net out, there's always some in the bottom of the net, some clinging to the underneath of the net, and you lose them. Some of them cling on, and some of them are in the top. You do that all day and you can catch a fair amount of crayfish. That's what I intend to do. That's been about half an hour since I put that landing net out with the trout pellets in. I'm going to go over there now and I'm going to pull it in. Let's see what we've got. So I've been doing this for a couple of hours now. I've had a good few scoops of the landing net, but I'm finally building up a collection of crayfish there. I think that's enough probably. As you could also see, that was a very good method of catching small live baits as well. Tons of little tiny carp in there, and rudd, and some tiny roach as well. The only thing I'm worried about is how dirty they are, how muddy they are. I've brought 8 litres of water with me in the back of the vehicle, so I'm going to use quite a lot of that, and I'm going to give them a good sluicing out in some cold fresh water before I dispatch these crayfish. I'm not going to cook them whole, not going to boil them whole. I'm going to kill them first with a knife through the carapace. Then I'm going to twist out the tail section and pull out the intestine. Right, so there's your signal crayfish, non-native. You can see the red claws underneath. That's what marks it out as an invasive American signal crayfish. What we're going to do is simple. Get the knife straight through the carapace. That there is a dead crayfish. What I'm going to do with the rest of it, going to cut the tail section off. That's the bit we want to eat. That bit gets discarded. That can go back in the lake. That can feed other crayfish, or even the carp will eat that, I'm sure. The next bit is the ingenious bit that I've seen other YouTubers do. You get this back tail section, the middle segment, you give it a twist. Don't break it all the way off. Give it a twist. And then out the back should come in one piece the intestinal sac. There, that's the bit you don't want to eat. That's all the shit and all the grit and all the dirt. Discard that, and there you have a towel ready to be boiled. I'm just putting them on ice, and I'm going to repeat that process until I've done what I've got here. It's all on ice. The big ones, I saved the claws. I mean, look at the size of that. That is what you call a claw. That crayfish, that's probably the biggest one I've ever caught. Look at the claws, it's like a lobster. It's free food, folks. In all the carp fisheries and commercial fisheries in England and across the rest of the UK. Look at that, that's a beast. Its claws are so big it can barely hold them up out of water. It's a bit time consuming having to kill them and take the intestines out, but I want to make sure they're clean. I'm going to boil them properly in salt water, and then I'm going to fry them up again after, because I ain't taking no chances with this sort of food in these lakes. I don't know whether it's clean or not. It's not a pristine mountain stream. It's a muddy old carp lake in the middle of Essex, so there we go. Me pal's just phoned me up and told me he's coming down, so if he hurries up he might get something to eat. I hope the wind noise, I hope it ain't too much, because it is really blowing around. I've had to really tether this brolly down. Next time I won't forget the guy ropes and the mallet, which I did this time. I brought everything but the kitchen sink, because I'm only parked 100 yards down the road there, so I could afford to bring a little bit more tackle this time. I've seen other YouTubers use these tiny little stoves. This is a little Coleman stove. Fits onto a gas canister. I got the pair with a discount card from Go Outdoors for 15 quid. So, I mean, they're not sponsoring me. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I've seen other YouTubers do it. I fancy a bit of that, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to start cooking some stuff up on the bank. There you have yourself a stove. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea now. That is some fierce heat coming off of that, I'll tell you. I ain't going to have no trouble boiling crayfish today. That's for sure. Cheers. Water's boiling. I'm going to throw some of these towels in now. Woo, bit of steam on the camera. I forgot to put salt in the water. I'm going to do that now. Smells like shellfish. Smells nice actually. Right, these have been boiling for a good 5 minutes, I reckon. Look at them. Right, I'm going to leave them in that bigger one to cool off. And I'm going to do the next batch now. Here he is. All right, mate.
Bacon roll.
Bacon roll? I don't need it. How's it going, Lee?
Alright, mate.
Another bowl on the boil. Time for the claws. Look at the size of them. Like lobster claws. While that's boiling away there, I'm going to peel these. First batch are safely in now. Look at that. It's like a proper bag of prawns. Like a bag of scampies. Look at the size of that claw. That's still hot actually. Got to let that cool down. That's the second batch. Look at that claw. Look at that for a chunk of meat. Right, I'm going to show you how to do this. That's where I took the intestines out the back. The middle fin's gone. And you're left with this fat towel. You just squeeze it at the sides. Should cave in like that. And then you just pull it apart like that. And then out comes your meat. That's what I've got. Got the claws there and all the towel meat. Typical British weather. Now it's raining. I can't do nothing until this goes away. I brought some flour and some corn flour mixed up equal measures. I was going to fry them in that. I've also brought some panko, which is a little bit more involved, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a po' boy, a proper po' boy. So I've just got to crack an egg open, whisk it up, dip the crayfish tails in some flour, then in the beaten egg, then in some panko, then I'm going to fry them. There's the beaten egg. Right, this is the bag of crayfish tails and claws that I got out of them crayfish that I caught earlier in the landing net. Just going to put them in this flour. So they're having a liberal coating of flour. Got to put them in a dry bag. That's panko. I made that myself with some stale white bread, left it in the oven for a few hours, dried it all out, grated it. Homemade panko. Gonna put the crayfish tails in the egg wash. Right, that's done. Gonna put these now in the bag of panko. This is getting really messy. That's what we've got. They're like little shellfish nuggets. We'll see how they fry up. Just had a nutty deluge of rain. It's made everything soaking wet and my job twice as hard, but I'm going to crack on. I'm going to fry these crayfish up now. Could have done with more than that, I reckon.
It's blown out. Smell the gas.
Yeah, mate, that's going. Don't forget they're already cooked, so I've only got to brown them off. Oh mate, look. Right, that's what we're left with. Actually, that's a claw there that I've got. That is well nice. You'll come into a carp lake, there's crayfish in there, you got to give that a go. Look at that. Got a nice baguette. Got some mayonnaise. Alright, so I've got a bit of lettuce in there, just as a token gesture. That's why I didn't want that bacon roll. It's all rolling out all over the place. Fish can have that one. The SD card ran out on my other GoPro, so I'm filming it on my old one. But that's what we're left with. Very nice. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to finish me Crayfish Po'boy off. That's well nice. You've got to try it. What do you think? These are the tiniest, dinkiest little carp I've ever caught. Little mirrors and little commons. They're tiny. A couple of inches long. I can't get through them. I haven't brought no big carp tackle. I've just got coarse tackle, so I'm just catching these tiny, tiny little carp. I thought I might be able to catch some roach and rudd to show you, but no, it's fingerling carp. The smallest carp I've ever caught on rod and line. The lake is absolutely packed with them, which is surprising because of all the crayfish. You'd think the crayfish would eat all the carp's eggs, but obviously they don't, not all of them anyway. I'll show you some.